Hello and welcome. This is James Blanchard, Cisneros at your service. Today I will be reading the May 2nd Facebook post and making a few comments on it, and I trust it will assist both of us on our journeys. Here we go. Self-awareness turns judgment into peace and gratitude. Each one of our journeys is individualized and sacred. If others have different views on life and you constantly judge them for that, then because we are all one, you are unconsciously teaching yourself that you too are constantly being judged / under attack by others. If you unconsciously believe you are constantly being judged, then you will unconsciously live in a constant state of defensiveness. Peace of mind cannot be found living in such a state. What we do not yet recognize is that it is our own judgments of others / ourselves that are creating the levels of uncertainty, anxiety, and stress in our lives. But it will also be because of their participation in our lives that we start to notice that every time we judge them, it is we who lose our peace of mind, and that the less we judge them, the more peace we have. And so for this new self-awareness, that when we let go of the ego's programmed need for judgment, we receive peace. Let us today offer our sisters and brothers gratitude, not judgment, for their participation in our life. We have been programmed by the ego to associate with the human body, that we are this body and nothing else. And we hide our true identity, that's being that we are spiritual beings. And so, because the ego has programmed us basically since birth to believe that we are this body, that we're actually separate from others, because other people have other bodies, and so we are separate from them. When we start buying into the ego's fairy tale, when we start buying into the idea of separation, when we start buying into this idea that because we're all separate, we're somehow in some kind of little rat race, where there's people in front of us that we should be resentful at or jealous at, and maybe there's people behind us that we should mock or feel better than. And so we find ourselves in this unconscious rat race to get to whatever goals the ego has programmed us, we believe that we need. And we see if some people have more than us, then we must take away from them to have what they have. Or if some people have less than us, then we must protect ourselves from them so that they don't take what we have. And so we live in a constant state of defensiveness, as unconscious as that may be. And that's because we use the ego's main fuel, which is judgment. When you're not aware, when you're not self-aware, when you're not awake, when you're sleeping in the fairy tale, you use judgment to protect yourself in this fairy tale. Judgment protects your belief system, the belief system that your ego and you have co-created. And if somebody ahead of you or behind you try to do anything that's different from what your belief system is, then you defend yourself immediately. You defend that belief system because that belief system is really the ego's belief system. And if you do not defend that belief system, then the ego gets attacked and it wants to survive. So it uses defensiveness, it uses judgment to defend and survive, and to make sure that its belief system remains with you. And so you use the ego's belief system over and over and over again, and you start getting a little bit tired of its results. You start asking yourself, well, if this is what I've been taught, and this is what I've been taught is right, but I'm using what is right, why am I feeling so stressed out? Why am I feeling so worried? Why am I using so much resentment or jealousy towards my brothers who, quote unquote, are ahead of me, or being so defensive against my brothers who are behind me? And the thing is that we are all one. And so whatever we do to others, we do to ourselves. And so when we're judging others, unconsciously we know that all these other individuals are judging us, even if we don't define it as such. And so we are in a constant state of defensiveness. And when you're in a constant state of defensiveness, you constantly need judgment to protect yourself. And there's no peace in that. There's no peace in always having your sword waving, protecting yourself. The sword of judgment to protect you. So when you're not aware, when you're not awake, when you're not using self-awareness, when you're thinking that you're a body instead of a spirit, the spiritual being that in truth you are, then you use judgment and you don't have peace. You don't have any time for peace or gratitude because you're always in defense, consciously or unconsciously. But there is another way. There's a way to remember who in truth we are. And we can use the ego's thought system to get us closer to remembering who in truth we are. Because the more we use the ego's thought system, the more we see how unreliable it is. How little it actually gives us. How little protection it offers. How little peace it offers. And so we can use anger, resentment, jealousy over and over again until we see, well, this is really not getting me anywhere. It's not getting me to a state of peace. It's not bringing peace of mind into my life. It's not bringing joy into my life. So there must be a better way. There must be another way. And so the more you use this, the ego's defense system, the ego's tools of judgment, the more you start to see that it is really not very usable, if that's a word. It's not really reliable, or it's not very helpful into getting you to where you truly desire to be, which is aligned with your eternal nature, the spirit within you. When you start aligning with the spirit within you, your eternal essence, that love that is an extension of God, for God is love and we're his extension, her extension. When we align with this part of us, we start to remember that our journey is sacred because we have co-created this journey with God's source. And so, because we have co-created this journey with God's source, our journey is perfect, and so too is everybody else's journey. And the more we support that thought system, the more we realize that indeed we are one. And so when we stop using judgment, the tools of judgment, in regards to our brothers and sisters, we start to see that we get more and more peace. When we start to notice that when we judge others, we get less peace. But when we do not judge others, we get more peace. So when we react peacefully towards others, we get peace. When we react judgmentally towards others, we feel judged, unconscious as that may be. And so we start to notice this oneness, that what we do to others, quote unquote others, we do to ourselves. And so we start to offer gratitude to God's source when we start to align with our true state, our true spiritual nature. And this brings us peace of mind. And the more peace we have in our lives, the more grateful we are for this peace. And so once we become self-aware, once we become more aligned with our true nature, we start to experience more and more peace. And because we experience more and more peace, then we offer more and more gratitude to God's source and to our brothers and sisters, because they are a part of helping us remember that peace is our natural state. So self-awareness brings peace and gratitude. Now, we have been taught to judge ourselves when we're in the ego's fairy tale as quote-unquote not good enough, not wise enough, not spiritual enough, because we're experiencing all this pain, let's call it. But again, as we discussed before, this pain, this anger, this resentment is self-destructive. So the more we use it, the more we see that we don't need it. But it was only because we used it that we now, as we become more self-aware, we see we need it less and less, And then that brings us to a closer state of alignment, to a closer state of peace, and then obviously gratitude. So there's no need to judge ourselves or others for being in the ego's fairy tale, or for believing in the ego's fairy tale, or for being quote unquote not self-aware, not spiritual enough, not good enough. All those are words invented by the ego. For only love is true, only love is real. So all these words in this fairy tale are inventions of the ego to put us down, to separate us from other people, so that the ego's thought system can survive. But as we again mentioned, the more we use this, the closer we get to seeing that this is not really us, that we're not quite at peace with this. And then we start to realign more with our true nature. Little by little, we start awakening. We start becoming more and more self-aware that what we do to others, we do to ourselves. And then we start to thank others, because when I offer peace to another person, I receive peace back. And so gratitude is my only possible response to that individual. But still, seeing that an individual, when I'm self-aware and I see this in individuals through peace, now I look at my past, and when I didn't see that individual through peace, I now thank that individual, because it was that process of seeing him not through peace that got me to the state of peace. And so imagine this being just little steps on the ladder. This illusion, this fairy tale, slowly got us to self-awareness. The more self-aware we became, the less judgment we use, the more peace we had, and then the more gratitude we offered for that. So it's all part of a journey. And every journey, as we said before, is sacred. Every journey is perfect for you. Your journey is perfect for you. My journey is perfect for me. It doesn't matter what your journey looks like, and it doesn't matter what my journey looks like. Yours is perfect for you. Mine is perfect for me. And the quicker I remember that yours is perfect for you, the less I judge you. The quicker you remember that my journey is perfect for me, then the less you judge me. The more I remember that you have co-created your journey with God's source. I mean, if you have co-created your journey with God's source, who am I to judge whatever it is you're going through? Who am I to judge God? Who am I to judge the love, the essence that created me? Because I know that she is working with you in your perfect journey, as she is working with me in my perfect journey. And the more we remember this, the more peace we have, the more gratitude we have. And that's how even judgment gets us to a state of peace and gratitude. So when we're self-aware, we have peace, we have gratitude. When we're using judgment, when we're playing the ego's game, it's only for a little time until we see it's not really worth it, and we come to a place of peace and gratitude. But even using judgment brought us to this place. And so even the world's illusions, the ego's illusions, are helping us remember our true identity. And so today, let us offer gratitude when we're self-aware, and let us offer gratitude when we're not self-aware. Let us offer gratitude to those individuals who are self-aware, and to those individuals who are not self-aware, because their journey is as perfect as ours. And there is no rat race. That's another dimension of the ego. There's no race. There's no time, really. Everything comes at its perfect appointed time. Believe it or not, we're always in the right place at the right time. Simply an illusion that we do not believe that. It's an illusion when we believe that we're not in the right place at the right time. That's an illusion. That's a fairy tale. That's the ego protecting a thought system. That if things are not working out exactly how the ego wants, then something must be wrong. But we've all been through that process where we seem to have a bad day or a bad week or whatever, and then we got through it, and when looking back at it, we see what a great wisdom experience that was, how much we learned from that to become who we are today, and how much we use that, which the ego would have had us judge ourselves for, to create this wisdom, this self-awareness, this realization of who we truly are. And so there is no need to judge yourself or others. There's no need for self-judgment. Again, that's the ego's little game. Okay, today we stopped playing the Eagles' little game. And we are grateful because we're becoming more and more self-aware, and the more self-awareness brings us more peace and gratitude. And we're all on a perfect journey, each one individualized to us. And so bless them, and you too shall be blessed. So let us do that. Let's bless our brothers and sisters, both in the present and in the past, for they both assisted us in becoming who we are today. And let us not only bless them and their past, but let us bless ourselves in the moment, in the present moment, and our past self. For our past self also helped us become who we are today. And so you see, there's no need for judgment. There's no need for the ego's fuel when you're not driving its little car, its little clown car. Okay. Thank you for your time. I love you very much. If you would be so kind as to like or comment or share the YouTube video, it would assist in the listening process, and it might help somebody find this information that could use it. If you'd like to leave me a question or a comment, I would be delighted to try and offer a response. And if you can please subscribe to my YouTube channel, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I would love to have you in those communities. Again, thank you very much for your time. I love you very much, and God willing, we'll see each other tomorrow. Peace.